Great minds have gathered in one place, and it has been a privilege for me to interact with you. But on this session, as I respond to some of the questions that has been sent, as well as give my closing remarks, the honor I don't take lightly, I would love to start with the quote by one of Africa's best storytellers, Chinua Achebe, who said, "When we gather together in the moonlight, village ground, it is not because of the moon. Every man can see it in his own compound. We come together because it is good for the kinsmen to do so. Therefore, let us continue with the team spirit and enjoy the power of togetherness." There is no better way to sum up this gathering where we are the young people, young professionals from different backgrounds, from different nationals, come together to just reflect. What is it that can make them to stand out in the workplace? I have been privileged to join you the last 3 days of this conference and learn from you, because all of you have something to offer. All of you, you have your own context and situation. But there is greater chance that we gathered in Malawi to reflect on what is it looking like for Pan-Africanists, the young Africans, to be in the workplace that they're going to stand out, be it in a local organization, be it in a private company or non-for-profit organization, will be more focused, because we have very few who are coming from the public service. But I may touch on that in a little way as we talk. One of the responses I would give to you, the critical element for any of us to be successful in a workplace or in whatever we do, even those who are entrepreneurs, first of all, is self awareness. Know who you are, know your abilities, your capabilities, and also the skills that you possess, and know your limitations, as it were. That is the critical element. The critical point is you need to know that. I should re-echo what I said earlier, and I think many of you took screenshots of what is happening. And it happened that what is in Malawi, in Ghana, and in Zambia, almost at the same time, we're talking about graduates who are not able to perform. And this is a bad signal for our education system, that we have people who have to be retrained. It's okay, but we need to do a reflection. And for many of us here, are being invited that we need to be prepared to stand out. So, one, know yourself. The second element that I would love to bring out to many of us is you need to develop a strong work ethic. Now, what do I mean by this? Punctuality, discipline, adherence to policies at companies. Just being there is important. For those who are in public service, it's a requirement. Public service philosophy requires you to be at work. For you who are in the private sector, it's deliverables sometimes that count. It's not about showing up. In public service, requires that when anybody comes to the office, they need to find you. They need to find somebody to attend to them. So you have to always show up. For those who are in the private sector, those in the NGO world, it's about deliverables. Sometimes with the changing technology and space, you find you can work remotely and deliver the results, as it were, depending on your specialization. So that is the critical point that we need to work around, having this critical element, the work ethic. So among these things we're talking about, punctuality and being reliable. Let me pause here and remind you what I did in the introduction. I mentioned, but then I was speaking to the employers. Now I speak to you as an employee. The company, the organization or government, they don't hire you to solve your problems. Their interest is to meet their objectives. They don't hire you so that you become rich. So with that requires a lot of awareness and maturity for you to say, how do I position myself to help this company achieve its objective, while I get the value of what I'm bringing to the table or to the company's growth. This is a critical. And the response is the third element that I would love us to look at, is continuous learning. Let's go slightly beyond qualifications. Aside upgrading your qualification, you need to constantly be upgrading your skills. What is it that will make me different in this organization? What is it that I will bring forth that will make me stand out, so that they can see the value that you are bringing out? Because the world is changing, there is innovation always coming up. So you have to be upgrading yourself, attend that conference, learn from somebody. Let me repeat what I opened to for you in my opening remarks again, that as young people and this generation, we are living at the better time than ever before. It is the time that is filled with opportunities and challenges. There is a lot of innovation, there is a lot of materials, and the way you can learn things from YouTube, different channels that you could pick up knowledge and skills, and as well as a lot of people, as I mentioned to you, many business people, corporates, and idealist activists, they have moved from the level of competing. There is no competing from the top. So the people are open to mentor and share things with you. So be open up to learn. Create yourself as the long life student. So that is one of the skills that you need to really focus on and strongly invest in. You need to, the next skill is invest in effective communication. Communicating effectively is critical. Let the people know what your needs are, what your limitations are, and they will know how to help you. As I have mentioned, many of the people are investing, and Africans, we have grown in this area. It's not like a Western concept. Sorry, I always talk about the West are more of individualistic, so it's about how I perform. But effective communication is critical for the next point that I would love to raise, and I just have to mention it now. Is you have to be a team player. Forget about your specialty, especially if you are just joining an institution. Forget about, no, I've studied this. Be interested in what other people are doing. Learn what they are up to and get an idea from that. Because when you are an effective communicator, you are going, people are going to notice your skills. You are an effective communicator, you're going to ask questions where you're not clear. That is one of the keys that we may need to focus on as we want to shine and stand out in institutions and organizations that we find ourselves, especially if you are in a business circles. I'm trying to beat time. No, storytellers, we love to talk a lot, but I'm trying to give just the summary and respond to many of the questions that you have been raising through this conversation as the war of us just winding down this conversation. The summit for young professionals, the young people who want to see Africa be at a different level, as it were. We are responsible for the economic emancipation of our continent, of our nations, of our communities, and our families. And individually, we have to actually benefit from that. But there is no benefit that comes without us applying ourselves, and applying ourselves in a best way, as it were. We have to foster a positive attitude. The economic situations in our nations and the continent are not as favorable. When you're given a lot to do, be on a positive side. As I mentioned, you are hired to help organization achieve their objectives. So you are considered a problem solver. So you have to have ideas. You have to bring out something that is going to speak to the company, that you are passionate about them thriving, you are passionate about them serving its clients in a proper way, you are passionate about seeing that you expand or the organization grow. And let me tell you this trick that goes when you apply yourself and you have a positive attitude, as well as you demonstrate initiative, that you are, when you are coming for work or when you are knocking off, you're checking out what is on social media, and then saying, oh, I saw this one could be an opportunity. Oh, I heard on news this is happening. Could we dive in it? Now, that distinguishes you from others because you are now demonstrating leadership. And in corporate leadership is where you find some people, when you check the HR and finance officers, some members of staff, their salary scale is not the level of where they are. An assistant has a higher salary than one person who is a director or heading a department, because the company has seen value. There are certain people, when they want to say, I'm going to leave the organization, their salary gets to be active. They will be asked, where are you living? No, I want to improve on things, and such as how much are they offering you where you are going? and they'll tell you, okay, we are going to give you that because you have applied yourself and you have established the value to that organization. So they will need you. And other people, like in Zambia, I always laugh using our Zambian terminology. There's somebody who's making a joke and it's trends that, boss, tetimumfaida kwa nchito ya mano kuba nenu abo musango na bena. Now, this is where the person can actually have the guts to talk to the boss that's okay. So can you help me find a better job from your friend? But there are some bosses, I can tell you, some of these things, if you are not following them, it will become difficult to recommend you. That your career might end with your mediocre performance at a certain organization where you are, because the people will not recommend you for another job, as well as other people will not hire you because there will be no results. But there you need to focus on getting to a level where people are actually single sourcing. They are looking for you, they are after you, they are saying we are looking for the person, and we are able to create a vacance or a position that will actually just suit your skills. Are you able to join us and be part of the team? Because you would have been shining in where you have been. So that is the critical part of us requiring to go beyond the qualifications, so that we invest in skills, we invest in learning, we invest in being explorative, and also be problem solving oriented. So solution givers to on an entity that you are finding yourself. So this is very critical, and one of the elements I want to address that has been coming up is the aspect of being flexible and the adaptability, especially for the 60% of us here who are coming from private sector. The private sector is different from that of the public sector, where 8 hours to 17 hours you have to knock off. Some of us, we have an attitude that one of the ladies from Ghana raised in this conference, and it's a major thing, that we are okay to knock off at 16:30 instead of 17 hours, but we have every problem to add 10 minutes to that. Even if we came late, even if we were attending a funeral, and unfortunately, what I liked from one of the CEO is where you're talking about oh, this funeral is for a friend, your best friend's ex, who has passed on because you related well when they're having issues. You are the counselor, and then you put that as a priority over the company. Ladies and gentlemen, let's pause. And as we request for time, people to be understanding from us, we have to also discern, is this the best time to move out? Is this the best time I could? Is this something I could pass? Because productivity requires us to be flexible as well as adapt. Sometimes it may require us to work beyond the time that is stated on our contracts, because it's requiring us to have the company deliver certain things. So we have to be, as much as we want to be understood, we have for us to be flexible, as it were. So these are some of the things that I would love to present to us as takeaways as we go around and become the best versions of servants, as well as professionals that are going to change the continent. My dear colleagues, I can't say much, but just affirm and appreciate the energy that you have brought in this conference. And it gives us a lot of hope that the continent is in safe hand. For those who are coming from the Swahili speaking country, we know that Uhuru is nearby. Independence, especially financial independence, independence in terms of our own values and systems, is closer, as if we apply ourselves and put in our very best. What I have to say, especially for our friends, the Chimones from Malawi and here in Zambia, the Easterners, they have a certain way of putting things nicely. At nikufunilani mafuno yabwino, I wish you nothing but the very best. Go on, shine, and let's develop the continent. This has been Sidi Muponda, Kanjipondele, and it has been a pleasure to be part of the speakers for the continental future professionals. Thank you.